Hello, darlings. You've all heard of Marilyn Monroe. Some of you know Bridget Bardot. Well, now it's time for the Cognac Show. I said Cognac, ooh, ooh. I said Cognac, ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm your bubbly blonde, fabulously dressed.
I'm Cognac Wellerlane, and we're here at the Sterling, and it's all about this awful cancer. And I'm talking to one of the patients who was stricken with this illness, and she's going to introduce herself and tell her story. Introduce yourself, darling.
Hi, Cognac. My name is Ronda Ayala, and I have been a patient for a few years. I had a Whipple in 2010. They found it in my pancreas. And it took about 15 years to get the diagnosis. That's the problem with this disease, is that it takes so long sometimes to get the diagnosis.
Did it do a lot of damage within the 15 years that you had it?
Well, believe it or not, I was misdiagnosed, and sometimes when the medical community, I can say that because I'm a nurse, can't find something, they end up going the other way. And they sent me to like a shrink and stuff, and I was mistreated for panic attacks.
Marianne said the same thing last year when I interviewed her too. They thought everyone thought she was nuts.
Yeah.
She told me the story.
Yeah, and so I have not had a panic attack since I had my surgery and the tumor has been out.
And you're a nurse too. So,
yeah, we just don't learn about it in medical school. And my nephew's at University of Miami, Nico Waller, and they gave him about 15 minutes of education on neuroendocrine, and that was it. So how are you supposed to remember that 15 minutes in another 20 years when you see a patient? It just makes it very difficult.
Very, very difficult. That's awful.
Yeah.
So tell my audience what your symptoms. I mean, the doctor just recently, I interviewed him, the honoree, he told me that some of the symptoms are your bloating and nausea.
Yeah, well, there's different kinds of neuroendocrine. That's more for, the gastric, the gut kind. For pancreatic neuroendocrine, my symptoms were, blood sugar issues, and that's why they thought it was panic attack because these hormones just came on out of nowhere. So, for example, I'd be writing a check at the grocery store, and the next thing you just feel this horrible wave come over you, and I just had to roll with it until it passed.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
oh my
and
God!
GI issues and stuff. So.
So now tell my audience what you did when you did find out that you had this illness.
Well, the first thing I did being a nurse is educate myself. I think that, education is power. So I went and I learned as much about neuroendocrine as I could, and I found Marianne through searching for answers.
On the internet, everybody finds
On
everyone,
that
right?
machine. Yeah, I did. And education is key. Unfortunately, with my case, I was told I was cured after surgery, that the surgery had cured me. And thank God I met Marianne and Bob, because they saved my life. Because I was just going to go on and live my life and have fun.
Well, what do you mean they told you were cured? What treatment did they give you?
Just the Whipple, and they took out with surgery, they took out the tumor of the pancreas, but I had negative lymph nodes, my tissues were negative, everything was great. So they basically told me go on and have a happy life. And then that wasn't enough for me, because you have to be your own advocate. You have to, take care of yourself. So when I found Marianne, she explained to me that we're never really cured. We always have to monitor. And so I'm a survivor. I'm a breast cancer survivor. I have to go every 6 months, make sure my blood work is... Amen. Yeah, you have to. You have to do this at a minimum. And, as you know, being with breast cancer, it's scary. You have that
terrifying.
You have that anxiety. You think, oh, no, is this the time the rug's going to be pulled out?
But you know what? I think when you get this illness, when you get cancer, it kind of like makes you take better care of yourself.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of people that if they have never gotten cancer, they don't go to the doctor, they don't get themselves checked out, they just don't do anything, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we take better care of ourselves after the cancer scare, for fear it comes back, and to monitor everything, because we've already had our world turned upside down once. And we know it's possible, but maybe we didn't think that before we actually were diagnosed, but now we know better.
Now we know to get our checkups, and we know to eat correctly and exercise and just to live a better, healthier life.
And the other thing that we have to remember is just because you have one cancer doesn't mean you can't get another. So even though I'm dealing with neuroendocrine, I still have to go get my mammogram and all that stuff. You just can't say, oh, that's all
crazy, though?
It's a shame. It's nuts.
It really is. It's really crazy. Like, right now I'm taking a Arimidex. I have to take that for 10 years. Now, you would think that would stop me from getting anything else.
I know, but it just depends on what the cancer feeds off of, and it's, if it's, God forbid, another type.
It's so wild.
Like going back to my story, I was negative for a long time, and then 4.5 years after, when tests were great, it came back and it's in my liver. And so, so I went through a lot of stuff with that, but my hair's back and, feeling more girly again.
So you did have to have chemotherapy?
Yeah, I had IV chemotherapy, and then I had about a 10-month break, and then they found 6 new lesions in my liver a year ago, October. So they put me on this oral medication, and I'm taking it 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks off and 2 weeks on, etc., for a year, and there doesn't show any tumors right now, so I'm stable.
Do you have, I spoke to the doctor that's receiving you.
Dr. Wallen.
Dr. Wallen, and he told me that most of this is environmental. Some of it is genetic. What do you think? What's your theory?
Well, you're going to be scared at this one, and I have to ask Dr. Wallen about this, because a scary thing happened to me 2 weeks ago. My neighbor, who had been neighbors of mine for years, called me up, and he said, Rhonda, I have a cancer I just had in my intestines. And I go, what is it? And he said, it's not what you have, it's carcinoid. And I said, wait a minute, neuroendocrine, it's a different name for it. So I and I are neighbors across the street, and we both have this rare cancer. It's got to be environmental.
I think it is
It's scary.
I worked right where 9/11 is, so I worked on Wall Street.
So got around everything. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. My husband too.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you don't know. You don't know now. My house happens to be, I mean, it's a nice area, so don't get me wrong, but my house happens to be like within 2 miles of an old landfill. You don't know. It's scary, but again, that's why we're telling people to promote their, eat well, exercise, get your tests, don't blow off appointments, all that kind of stuff. And but what I would say to somebody who has this or is newly diagnosed would be to get diagnosed, find the best people, contact Neuroendocrine Cancer Awareness Network, because we have the ability to put you in contact with the best in the country and the best in the world, doctors. And so that's the first stop. The second is, after you have treatment and you're on treatment, try and put it in the back of your mind a little bit and live your life for today.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, you have to. You have to, and you have to keep a positive attitude. And trust me, I mean, you know how it is when you get diagnosed. You go in, I went in my little cave. I didn't want to talk to anybody and depressed and all that. But after a while, you just have to realize that, okay, this is my new normal. And what are you going to do? So you make the best of it and try to be positive.
Make the best of it.
Yeah.
Now, tell my audience where we could learn more information. What is the website regarding this illness, this disease, and what Marianne Wayman and Bob Wayman are affiliated with? Tell my audience what that website is.
Marianne and Bob have started the Neuroendocrine Cancer Awareness Network. It is one of the biggest organizations out there for patient information, patient support, and just to get the word out there that this cancer is not as benign as people think. That's unfortunately what many of the doctors think. Oh, it's a benign thing. Well, if that was true, we'd still have Mr. Steve Jobs. Unfortunately, and Dave Thomas, and the person who started Popeye's Chicken, and some actresses and stuff. So the word's getting out there, unfortunately, that it's out there. But this is who I would contact first, and it's neuroendocrine cancerawareness.org.
Neuroendocrineawareness.org.
Yes. So. But thank you so much for your time and for helping spread the word. This has been fantastic.
And bringing awareness, that's what we want. We want everyone out there to get their medical checkups, and if they think there's something not quite right, get that test. And can you tell my audience what they call that test?
There's one called, it's Chromogranin A, and it specifically tests for neuroendocrine. So if you go to a doctor and they go, oh, we're going to test you and do a cancer test, this is a very specific test for neuroendocrine. The abbreviation is a CGA test. And that's just one of the tests. There's many others, but I would say that, ask them specifically for that. And if you're not feeling good and you've been misdiagnosed with IBS or whatever and you don't feel good, that's why we use the zebra, because the doctors are taught to look for, when they see hoof beats, to look for a horse. And if it's not a horse, it's not a horse. After looking, maybe they need to turn the corner and look for a zebra. And, it could be something totally unexpected. And neuroendocrine is.
Well, thank you, Tom.
God bless you.
And God bless you. Give me a kiss. Mwah.
Thank you.
Don't go away yet. We'll be back in a moment, darlings. More interviews coming up. Keep watching. Pink Champagne Kisses.
Tell me
darlings. I'm Cognac Wellerlane, and we are here at the Sterling, and it's all about battling neuroendocrine cancer. And I'm here with this gentleman who is a big advocate, a big supporter, and he's very influential on Long Island in promoting and bringing awareness about this disease. Introduce yourself to the camera.
Well, thank you for having me. My name's David Gussin, and I actually recently joined a team of Ncan, which is neuroendocrine cancer. One of the things I noticed about neuroendocrine cancer is until someone had it, they never heard about it.
I know.
You know, there's many other type of cancers and stuff, and people hear about them and fight for them, but when no one ever heard of something, it's harder to get support. But the Wehmans, right here from Long Island, New York, have done an absolutely excellent job, not just raising awareness, but building a resource for people who have this disease.
It's a rare illness, a rare type of cancer, but they're finding more and more people getting it.
As there's more awareness of it, more and more people, knowing they have it. And the other thing we joke about it, it's hard to say neuroendocrine cancer, but just because it's hard to say doesn't mean you shouldn't know about it.
Absolutely. Now tell my audience how you found out about this illness.
Actually, they found us. They found us here in Long Island. I have the honor of working with hundreds of Long Island businesses through our organization, 516 Ads and 631ads.com. And our goal is to build a Long Island resource. And in addition to creating business, part of building that resource is helping raise awareness for nonprofits throughout Long Island, with Ncan being one of them. We have a new campaign. It's called Earn Your Stripes. And that's because Ncan's symbol or logo is the zebra. And we want people to earn their stripes and help raise support and money for neuroendocrine cancer.
And do you help this organization find sponsors? Are you helping them with that at all, or just promoting it?
A whole array of things strategically, from coming up with new strategies to help get the name out there and make it more understandable to people, you know, just getting uncomfortable with neuroendocrine cancer. And then, of course, yes, trying to help them get sponsors and attendees. And like I said, they've been doing a great job. They're based in Long Island, but throughout the country, when people are looking for information on neuroendocrine cancer, it is this Long Island Association that often provides the most info. So really props to them. I like them because they're doing a great job. That's why I'm participating with them.
I'm supporting them because I am a breast cancer survivor, and any type of cancer, you know, I'm here to bring awareness and to support the cancer. I just went to the Samuel Waxman Cancer Research Foundation event. It was a fabulous event at Cipriani's, and Roger Daltrey, I'm sure you know who he is, the rocker. Yeah, he gave a free concert in support of this illness, you know, of cancer, any kind of cancer. And they're great people. So anything with cancer, I want to make sure that people know about it, and I want people to be aware of it. My husband too, he suffered from prostate cancer. So it's all, and they gave the award. I don't know if you know who he is, Vince Camuto. He's a fashion designer, shoe designer. Your wife probably knows who he is, or your girlfriend, I don't know. But he passed away, this man, from prostate cancer. So they gave the award to his wife.
Like what? We have a lifetime of work to do, and thankfully there are a lot of good people doing lots of good things for this cause and many causes throughout Long Island.
Yes. Now tell my audience, where can we go to learn more information? First of all, tell my audience, what is your website?
516ads.com. That's where you go. Visit 516ads.com.
And it's a Long Island-based company.
516 Ads, 631 Ads. There's 2 area codes here in Long Island. I know they just added a third, but no one, I think it's 934, but 516 and 631 Ads. And lots of great people doing lots of great things.
Let's toast to finding a cure.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks for talking to me, and thanks for giving this this organization big support.
Thanks for all the great work you do.
Don't go away yet. We'll be back in a moment, darlings. More interviews coming up. Keep watching. Pink Champagne Kisses. Darlings, I'm Cognac Wellerlane, and we are here at the Sterling for neuroendocrine cancer to fight this awful, dreadful, terrifying disease. And I'm here with Eve, and she's going to introduce herself to the camera and tell us how she is a big supporter.
Thank you so much. So my name is Eve Dreyer, and I work on patient advocacy for Lexicon Pharmaceuticals. And Lexicon has a drug that's in clinical development and may possibly be approved by the FDA sometime in the next few months. Our drug will, if approved, it will impact on carcinoid syndrome, which is an aspect of carcinoid and neuroendocrine tumor that ends up being very isolating. The aspects of carcinoid syndrome end up keeping people in their home, unable to be spontaneous in their plans, unable to work sometimes, unable sometimes to sit through a luncheon or a movie or a play. And the sad thing about it, it's very, very isolating.
They're afraid to come out of their house in case they have like an episode.
Yes, exactly. So what I do, my job has been wonderful because it's given me the chance to meet advocacy leaders all over the country, like Marianne and Bob Wayman. And what we've been exploring are ways that we can help the dialogue between doctors and patients and make sure that patients can understand what the fullness of their lives can be, what they can hope to do in terms of being able to live with what is a terrible disease, as you said, but a disease that, if it's controlled, will allow them to have a relatively long lifespan and be able to participate in their community. So I'm just thrilled that we've been able to support Ncan and support Marianne and Bob. We've worked with other advocacy groups across the country. I was thrilled to be in New Orleans a few weeks ago.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So that was a wonderful opportunity. And I'm sure you've already heard from Marianne that Thursday is, or was, what's known as the World Net Awareness Day. So for World Net Awareness Day, we were also able to sponsor a patient education meeting in New York City, and we were also able to help Marianne and Bob secure media opportunities like yourself, which are going to enable people to understand more about this terrible disease.
I told her she needs to get, she told me that Audrey Hepburn died from this disease. I told her you have to get her son to come and talk.
That's an amazing idea.
I know, because this is when I go to all these wonderful charity organizations, they get the son, the daughter, the wife, the husband. That's what you need.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
Tell my audience, where can we go to support, donate, contribute? What's the website?
The website for the Neuroendocrine Cancer Awareness Network is, I believe it's carcinoid.org, if I'm not mistaken. That's going to get you there, or just look for Ncan, Ncan. It will bring you to their website. They do a wonderful job of holding patient events all over the country. We've been delighted to support New Orleans. We're supporting one in Long Island coming up in about 2 weeks, and next year they'll be doing 6 sites across the country. And they've just done an amazing job in helping support groups organize in, I don't know, well over 50 sites around the country.
One more time, what's the website?
The website is carcinoid.org.
Give me a kiss. Don't go away yet. We'll be back in a moment with more interviews coming up. Keep watching Pink Champagne Kisses.
Hello, darlings. You've all heard of Marilyn Monroe. Some of you know Bridget Bardot. Well, now it's time for the Cognac Show. I said Cognac, ooh, ooh. I said Cognac, ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm a bubbly blonde, fabulously dressed to impress. One of a kind girl. It's been a Crybaby Productions, darlings.